You ready?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Good morning. This is Administrative Services Committee, Monday, August 10th, 2020, 9.
Oh, wait a minute, hold on, I got you muted.
Hold on.
I'll go back, I got you muted. There you go.
Okay. Good morning. This is Administrative Services Committee, Monday, August 10th, 2020, 9:02 a.m. Members present: Danielle Allen, Bob Gimler, Jim Horstman, Judy Truckenbrode on the phone. Do we have
Jim, Wendy,
Jim Wetling? Bill Palin.
Here.
I'm looking for Bill Palin. Is Bill on there?
44000487. Okay.
That's Jim Wentz.
Jim, okay, Jim.
Okay, so unless Bill checks in later. Also present: Kathy Myers, Paul Rudolphi, Mike McBride, Wendy Ryerson, Bob Sondergrad, Charlie Boonstra, Becky Brenner, John Nicholson, and Dee Duffy.
There is a 288-3024.
Did you say who you are?
Is that Wendy? 288-3024. Is that right? That might be Bill.
Bill, is that you?
Oh,
Oh, there we go.
Is that Bill?
Hey, yeah, that 288-3024 is Wendy.
Okay. We knew you were there, so. Okay. Anyway. Just definition of golf is the adult version of an Easter egg hunt. Some of you might have been out trying to do that, just to get exercise. So comments, Dee Duffy wanted to explain something.
Hey, can you talk loud, please?
What?
Yes.
Sure. So we had a petition come before the ZBA last Thursday night. Actually, we had two. The first one I wanted to talk to you today about was someone who wanted to come in and rezone their property to a commercial business. It's now presently zoned agricultural. This little summary, Mr. Mark Coster came to the zoning board for C1 Neighborhood Office Business District.
You need to come up, please. I don't think you're getting, she's not picking, you're not picking up.
The microphone's right.
I'm not gonna sit in the stew pot. Sorry.
Come on.
So he lives at 2095 Swartz Road. Like I said, the parcel is zoned Ag 1. He's got 4 acres there, one primary house, several accessory buildings. Lives on a corner lot with 2 driveway entrances, one entrance off of Swartz Road, one off of Penrose Road. April of this year, he acquired a permit for a 2,700 square foot addition to his farm. So when I inquired about the addition, he spoke that it was for his construction business on the property. So he and his brother are business partners for the Coster Brothers Construction. They have a construction office out there with 9 total employees. Type of business he runs is construction that deals with residential and commercial construction, remodeling, plumbing, concrete walls, flat work, and seamless gutters. What happens is employees arrive on the property in the morning with their personal vehicles, parked on the property all day. There's construction materials and equipment stored in all the accessory buildings. Several utility trucks are used daily at off-site projects and then parked overnight, occasional weekend activities. But notice that the lot is orderly and debris-free. So my findings on this petition were effects on the proposed use of the character of the neighborhood. The property is surrounded by agriculturally zoned land, and commercial use does not coordinate with surrounding use. Effects of proposed traffic conditions. There are several employees using personal and business vehicles daily. Causes an increase in traffic at least twice daily, 9 employees in and out daily, sometimes 5 days a week, 90 added vehicle usage per week on roadways. I'm just gonna skip down and get through all this. So on the 21st of July, the Palmyra Township Board met and completed a findings of facts and voted not in favor of rezoning. When a person wants to rezone in a township that has a comprehensive plan, that petition goes to the Comprehensive Planning Commission of that township first to see if it fits in their plan. They felt that this petition should be considered spot zoning and does not follow the comprehensive plan. The comprehensive plan does not follow this type of business in this particular area of the township, and in general, new non-farm development is discouraged in the rural character preservation area. And in your packet, there is a map of their comprehensive plan that shows the rural character preservation area. The Lee County Zoning Board met last Thursday, like I said, and completed their facts and findings and voted to recommend to the county board. Myself feels that this petition should be considered spot zoning and does not follow the Lee County comprehensive plan with regards to a commercial business in an ag zone. And our comprehensive plan is on the back page, I believe. And if you can see by my visual aid, Dixon,
You need to put it like behind Danielle to get it up on
This
the
is the
screen.
Zoom meeting here, this one.
oh, they can't see it. Just wanted quickly, all right, this is Dixon. Anything green is agriculture. The business is right there. So we don't want to start setting a precedence. And I just wanted to leave that with you then.
Do we need to talk about what the zoning ZBA recommendation was at all?
It was a very busy night that night. Nerves were running pretty high with a crowd of over 55 people. It seemed like a normal petition to do the findings of facts and come out with a recommendation. And
Okay, so if this one goes down, then is he going to just have to close the building? Can they close the business there?
if the vote,
Because he already did put in business there without,
it's been established since 2000.
okay, so it was already kind of grandfathered in?
No, it was found out by me just this April.
That it's been there all these years?
Yes.
Hello,
Wow.
hello,
Yes,
hello, Bill Phelan here.
okay. Good morning. Right.
Good morning.
Yeah, we got you, Bill.
Okay,
All right, so go ahead. So it's been there, so, yeah, by, wow. So this is a muddled mess. Okay.
They know that they shouldn't be doing that after I talked to them, but they're asking for a rezoning for commercial.
Okay. All right. So we need to read our ZBA minutes. And then there'll be discussion at the board meeting next week.
There shouldn't be.
There should not be. All right. Okay.
So what did the ZBA vote to do
They voted to recommend to the county board for approval,
for approval? So contrary to Palmyra Township.
and myself, yes.
Okay. And the county overall plan. And the county overall plan.
Which is what D is.
The comprehensive plan
I think
says,
represents that.
But they've just been operating it without proper zoning for 14 years,
about 2015,
or 2015.
Oh, I heard you say.
So
That's
it's
when
just
they
not expressed.
purchased the property.
Okay. I thought it was, right. Okay. Any other questions for me? Wants to have anything?
Nope, I think she did great.
Okay, all right, thank you. Is there anyone that needs, other officers that needs to, wants to go first? Follow you guys swamp down there.
Actually, no, it's kind of quiet at the moment, so.
Boy, did you just blow that.
No, if I need to, I'll get up and leave. Actually, no, we are short a person, and we will be short a person for 14 days, but right now, we're not.
So then we're ready to start our claims. Okay, this is gonna be fun. As I've been sitting here, I didn't think about how we were handling this. There's that. There's one I gotta short one. Yeah, and then I'm ready to give you for next sheet. Okay, so this is county clerk, and the county general fund.
Ready?
Yep.
Creative printing, $231.
That was actually Vital Records.
Okay, when as soon as they gave that number, I was like, yeah, those were, I just pulled them right away, so vital records, thank you. So $211.
$231.
Eva?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, so then the next one should be county general. That you have,
Is it just the one or the pack?
I think it's the whole pack, and I just gave him the sheet that, so
All
you,
of these?
so it should be, well, let's see if the numbers are.
You should start with Fiddler.
Yeah, and they're whole, yes, either, because he has the loads and everything, right there, so each one of those clips.
You ready, Bob?
Go.
First one is Fiddler for radar usage, amount $1,030.73. Next one, GBS for ballot paper, amount $1,994.60. Next one, GBS for election contract, amount $21,661.56. Next, US Bank for filing, $26. Next, Sauk Valley Media for subscription, amount $286. Next, SBM for supplies, amount $596.46. And that should be it.
Total. 25,595.35.
25,595.35. So next is treasurer. You read a lot.
Right. So vendor, Meyer, right, for postage. $227.49. Do I write anything on here?
Yes,
I write it.
write the amount and your initials.
One is Pitney Bowes Reserve for postage, $4,500. Sterling Business Machines for supplies, $180.
Are the people online able to hear? I should ask that. I guess that's,
Yes,
okay.
I'm hearing a lot of shuffling of paper and that.
Okay, that's me. I'll try to be careful.
Thank you.
U.S. Bank for supplies, $56.26. Silverio for programming, $185.
Total, $5,148.75.
5,148.75. Okay, then next up is automation.
Excuse me, was there a figure on hotel motel receipts?
Not yet.
Thank you.
Okay, next. The paper shuffling is because I'm trying to have it so that it can go faster, but deal with it.
Okay.
All right.
Dell EMC for $1,801.92. Meyer for meetings, $65. Pitney Bowes for supplies, $935.13.
Total, $2,802.05.
2,802.05.
Yes.
Okay, next up is tourism. You need to write it down.
Okay.
You can have it back.
I didn't write them out.
Is that okay? She does it the next time.
Sure.
Tourism.
Are you there, Bill?
Yes,
Okay. Lee County Tourism, $4,292.78.
thank you.
And Lee County Treasurer, $130.74. And City of Dixon, $4,292.78.
Total, $8,716.30.
$8,716.30. Okay. I'm missing the, on the, I don't have the big sheet. I know. Is there a Bob? Bob, do you have it? I don't see it in this packet either. Do you have it? Is it on the back? Oh, here it is. So next up is ROE.
One packet.
They're in packet, so where he has number one, number two, because it's divided out, the ROE gets divided out into 3 counties. So our numbers look small for electric bill, water bill, et cetera. So, we should make Gibby do this one. So Stephen, you need another one. Okay, so these are all, this is all utilities.
Packet 3.
So that's all
Unless there's a
packet
big
4.
discrepancy, then we'll go through the water.
Okay.
Okay,
But here we should just give it a total
So make-
packet.
yeah, so it's all, must be all utilities this month, Bob. I looked at them, but I didn't. Evidently, I just skipped it.
This is the cheat. So this is all the utilities, it's in packet one,
Okay,
so there's packet one.
just one pack.
Yeah, that's, okay. Sometimes we have more.
Gotcha. Okay,
That's,
thank you.
So it's all in the packet one.
I was looking for,
Okay,
more packets.
okay,
That's
thank you.
good. don't have much.
Not this month.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, packet 1 comprising utilities and other similar services amount $298.74.
Total $298.
Just so you know, there'll be a rent, for some reason the July bill is together next month, so there'll be a double next month. That's why you don't see rent in there. And Chris and I aren't traveling because of, we are starting to now, but we haven't been, so that's why there's no mileage.
Okay, 298.74. Okay, so next up is county board. And- No, you didn't. I know it.
So CDW Government Acrobat Software, $272.71. Walters Law Office, $140. This is already signed by somebody.
He already put them out down there.
Mhm.
Okay. Just put your, you initial
What
it
initial?
too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sickich LLP, $590. NW Illinois Criminal Justice, $3,213.29.
Is that best?
No, that's criminal justice. There was, sheriff's department.
Quill Envelopes, $36.88. SBM Copier Agreement, $143.88. Veneers Jewelers, class for county board members, $250. US Bank for supplies, $1,542.
Okay. That one had the receipts with it.
Yeah, but it's a different amount.
Which one is it?
US Bank for supplies,
Oh, that was the chairs that came off of, Paula's card. So only one of those charges is for county board. We used Paula's because we weren't sure that the my card had the limit. So if you look at the
oh, yeah,
receipt.
so there's one that says $1,542.
Sorry, I should have. What was the amount?
The total of the
I thought those were the
receipt
chairs.
is
You said the chairs.
Oh, they were the chairs.
$598.26.
Yeah, those are the chairs.
But the Sam's Club is $1,542.
So am I off?
Is the wrong number? I mean, do they not
No,
match?
the total of the receipt was different
Yeah,
than what
okay,
this
yes.
is.
Because
So-
Paula had stuff on her card,
Right.
so just that one card.
Total. $6,188.76.
6,188.76. Next up, computer service fund.
We are trained.
I'm trying to do clockwise.
Thanks, Ed.
Is that working or not? Computer services.
We have one claim, DevNet, the amount of $11,535.73. And do we know what this is? I should say, I don't know what this is. Software maintenance for DevNet.
DevNet's our tax software, basically to collect taxes and distribute taxes and bills and things like that. So,
That's treasurer.
treasurer, assessor, actually DevNet's used by pretty much all the departments over here. And that's a quarterly. Yep.
Total. 11,535.73.
11,535.73. And then next up is GIS recording. Dan, this one wasn't on there.
Oh, this hurts. Okay. Eagle View for aerial photography. $42,766.17. Wendy?
So it was a 3-year.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
you,
Yeah,
we paid 42,000, but the original invoice was for 50,000.
part of that was prepaid by myself. Part of that $50,000 was the Change Finder software that my office budgeted and paid for actually in 2019. So they have instructed us just to pay the 42,000 or 43, whatever that number is, for now, and they will take care of correcting that invoice later.
Okay. Kathy, in case you get those, there's different amounts on them. Okay.
Total, $42,766.17.
The next up is assessment.
First one is claim Sidwell Company for programming. The amount is $1,857. Next, claim of Kevin Carr for contractual services. Amount of $3,305.08. And that's for fieldwork processing, property inspection processing.
He's a part-time person that's going out and willing to take the pictures of updates wherever Wendy or her staff send him. I think when things come in that are different from the either township or group multi-township changes, he verifies.
Next is claim of Leaf for contractual services, amount of $225.53. Next is Quill, amount $139.46. Next is Jennifer Boyd for travel and meeting amount $107.05. Next is Amboy News for publishing amount $23.85. Last is US Bank amount $119.75.
That's the receipt.
It's an Amazon purchase. I don't really have anything other than the US Bank statement here.
So there isn't an Amazon?
This is stands for COVID signs.
There you go.
It's just the original of the
Is that,
bank.
no, that's from the bank. Wendy? Wendy,
Yes,
we need the, we need
The printout from
the
Amazon.
Amazon printout with the information on what was ordered.
For the COVID signs, stands.
you know what, I think I got it here with my copy, it looks like. And it didn't make it into your set of copies. I'll bring one up. Do you want me to do it now, or do you want me to do it after the meeting?
If you do it,
She can turn it into our.
okay, you can just give it to Kathy.
Got it, okay.
Oh,
Well, that'd be good if I wrote that down, okay. Thank you.
$5,777.72.
$5,777.72. I was gonna say last but not least, but never least, so veterans. Oh, it would have been. Oh, I thought you just had, okay. you did. What did we just do with that? What you did, okay. All right, veterans.
Sorry, Monday. Okay, Lee County Transportation Fund, $1,337.57. Lee County VAC, $115.12. And Oliver's Corner Market, $247.02. And the County Transportation Fund for Van Lee's, $218.
Total $1,917.71.
$1,917.71. Any questions on any claims?
I move that they be approved.
Seconded by Mr. Horstman. And all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks you.
How about the minutes?
Okay, so did anyone look over the minutes from last month? Were in the packet? Were they okay? Didn't see any problems with that. Oops, I need to decide claim sheet. All right, any, reports, I'm sorry, Kathy, why am I?
Okay, you will see on the deposit of funds this month for county board that, I received an election security grant. So there was $10,583.20 that I did as a deposit of funds. This covers, some cybersecurity awareness, some storage units for my election files, and then some additional election computers. So I wanted to extend a big thank you to Mike, in helping me get this grant and fill it. So he spent a lot of time doing a lot of research for me, and I truly appreciated that. As you all know, and you should have received your application to request a vote by mail ballot. We had mailed out roughly 13,330. I'm going to say, after looking at today's mail, that we've probably gotten at least 1,000 requests already returned. So again, we opted to keep the project in-house. We felt we could do it cheaper than what the vendor was quoting to do it. So I also want to give a huge thank you to my entire staff. Devin KJ did all of the printing. Wendy very graciously lent us her paper folder, which we were able to send the letters through and the apps to vote to get those folded into thirds. And then everybody in the office grabbed a box and we were all stuffing. So everything went out in the mail a day ahead of the deadline. So, but we are getting a huge response back for people wanting to request a ballot by mail.
Okay, do you, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I can take your question.
Well, I have a feeling you were just going to answer that, just jumping on that. If people still did want to vote in person, what they could do, but.
Yeah, if you want to vote in person, then just ignore the application, do not return it.
Well, or can they just, if they order the application, then they can bring it in? I mean, with that safe, which is less work for the office, that they get all these letters, or that they get an application and then turn it in when they vote in person?
Not to return it at all. You don't need to return the application. You would only need to return the ballot.
I'm sorry.
If you,
That's what I meant.
yeah, so you wouldn't get a ballot if you didn't return the application.
That's, okay.
Yeah. So, and from now, the next notice that you will get will actually be coming from the Secretary of State's office. So we, as the county, have fulfilled our obligation.
Okay.
So in September, about the 15th of September, you'll get a notice from the Secretary of State's office that this is available to you, and you've not yet responded. Then you will get another notice from the Secretary of State's office in October.
Okay, so if we just let the state handle that part of it, then there'll be less work if we don't do anything.
Correct.
Okay, I was getting a miss. Okay.
No.
Thank you.
So you want
I
to just
appreciate
let
that clarification because I thought that, we could save the county postage and we didn't do that, so much better.
No,
Thank you,
that
dear.
is
I
that.
appreciate that.
Yep. So, and again, all of our voting precincts will be open on election day. So we will also be starting early voting here on the 24th of September. And then lastly, I don't know if you all had a chance to stop in and see the sneeze guards that were installed. They look very nice. And we're actually getting a lot of compliments on them. So greatly appreciate that added protection that we're able to have between us and the customers. So that's all I have, unless anybody has any questions for me.
Can you repeat the amount for the grant? Is it 10,000?
$10,583.20.
Paul, the treasurer?
We are now charging penalty on late payments for the first installment. We started that last week. We're getting a lot of phone calls asking about second installment, if that one's gonna be backed up, and tell everybody no. A lot of phone calls from people regarding COVID and how do I pay my tax bill if I'm not working? So there's been, the office has quite a few phone calls in that regard. We are kind of in a slow period right now. The next installment due date is September 2nd. So it seems like a month away from that, the office slows down a little bit, but I would expect within the next week and a half, it'll pick up with second installment payments.
How have the tax bills been coming in compared with last year at this same time?
Yeah, so Paula and I had taken a look at that last month because we were trying to get a feel for when we backed it off 30 days, did that affect? I think we saw maybe an 8% decline if you tried to do a comparative same time frame, that the 30 days really only backed us off maybe 8%. But obviously, I think we're gonna see a reduction in penalty because we would have been charging penalty from June 26th through now instead of now we're starting our penalty phase. We do seem to have quite a few taxpayers who were constantly always late,
So it's
so.
a situation now with a lot of the public that they're in worse dire straits now than they were for the July to August. I'm just wondering whether or not county board wise would suspend that penalty until the end of September.
Yeah, I don't know that that's, I guess I can't answer the question for you guys to do, but.
Finance would address it, and if they have a recommendation or not, would be coming up. But
And in terms of dire, I mean, obviously, I'm not out in the public with their workforce, but obviously there was a $600 extension or that they had going up until the end of July. Most of that was, they were getting paid more to sit at home than they were to work, so if you were out of work. But I really haven't seen the economic impact for Lee County, because I haven't heard of too many people other than maybe the service industry, meaning like restaurants and bars and things like that, that were laid off. So this, from a community or Lee County standpoint, I think a lot of our property owners, if you will, were already or continue to work. So it shouldn't impact them as bad. I mean, I don't know that for a fact when I say that, but.
I'm just asking, you deal with the public more than I do.
Yeah. But those are the calls. The calls that we are getting are, hey, are we going to extend the second due date? What do I do if I can't pay? And there are options for people who cannot pay. And then the governor is also, with his executive actions, we're looking at a possibility of not being able to do the tax sale at the end of October, where we may have to push that out to January, February of next year, which will impact.
which is basically an extension for them.
Yeah. But it impacts every entity within the county because the tax sale obviously brought in the tax revenue value that we could distribute, where now it may have to be held up and wait until they figure out what they'll allow us to do.
Thank you.
It's going to be this. No, I won't say it. Okay. Any questions? Any other questions? Or Mr. Sadecroft, how are we?
Thanks for joining us. No, I'm just listening.
Well, I'm taking out.
Okay, so, the question that's on everybody's minds are when are schools gonna open and are they gonna open? And right now, yes, they are. Some are gonna open even this week with Teacher Institutes. Some are using their remote learning planning days on top of their Teacher Institutes that the state's allowing them to use to delay it for another week. So I would say by the third week, not next week, but by the following week, unless something happens statewide, most of our districts will be open. Stewart School District, a small school district in Lee County, the board voted to go remote learning for the first 9 weeks, just to see how things were going. They are the only school district that has voted to do remote learning. Fulton's High School is going remote learning because they have about 600 kids and they had 6 that had tested positive over the summer. So they just decided to take the first quarter and do remote learning. So many different plans that the administrators are doing a great job of working with the public and working with the teachers to decide how to do this the best way they can. There's a lot of blended learning plans, meaning that there's an A/B day. There's, one group will go to school on Mondays and Wednesdays, The other group will go to school on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and Friday's a remote learning day for everybody. That seems to work out the best if you're gonna do that for teachers, for parents' schedules, because they can schedule, childcare. But there are a few that are doing a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday switch, which means this week, Group A will do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Group B will do Tuesday, Thursday. The next week, Group B will do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Group A will do Tuesday, Thursday. That's high school, and that's the only ones that I've seen do that. And that's not so bad because they can pretty much take care of themselves, so the parents can work. We have had an uptick in people requesting or talking about homeschooling. What we're reminding them is if they homeschool, they're on their own for all their curriculum and everything. If they do remote learning through the school district, then the school district provides all that. But the school district can also require the hours of remote learning as opposed to homeschooling where you do it when it works out best for your schedule. So there's pros and cons for everything. We're starting our school inspections and trying to get as many done as we can before kids get into the classroom. Figured one less adult in the classroom walking around, masked or unmasked, is still good to get that done. So we're doing our best. We've got Sterling done. We'll have Rock Falls done this week. And we're working with the other districts. Our professional development office is really doing a fantastic job of working with teachers and administrators. We kind of slacked off a little bit in July because administrators usually take July off, but they didn't, of course, this year. So I don't know when the administrators are going to take their vacation because they didn't get July off like they usually do. But you can see that we had 720 participants in what we did. And then we are proud to partner with Sauk Valley Community College on an Educator Pathways grant. We helped write that grant. We are getting a good chunk of that grant to work with the school districts in Lee and Whiteside County that are part of Sauk Valley College's district on setting up a pathway for kids like my kids were both interested in being a teacher while they were in high school. They knew that. But we didn't have any classes that they could take that would help them with that degree. That's what we're working on now, is so that we have a pathway through Sauk that they can start doing that stuff for education degrees while they're in high school. Maybe doing some, hopefully when this is all over, doing some clinicals and actually deciding that's really what they want to do. So I'm really excited about that. Our family educators are doing a great job. One of our family educators in Rock Falls made a connection with a family whose vehicle had broke down. They couldn't get to work. She knew another family that had an older vehicle that wanted to donate it to somebody. So we're the intermediary that's going to get the family that wants to donate the vehicle to the family that wants the vehicle, but the donator wants to be anonymous. So it has to go through us. But she's doing a great job of getting way above and beyond what she's doing. So I'm really proud of them. Our birth to 3, you'll see they're doing virtual. The parents is, I forgot, education outreach is back up and running again too. And they're the ones that are working with kids that have dropped out. We're trying our best to connect with as many of them as can to let them know there's a project or a program out there to help get their GED. We did a big transition with our Birth to 3 program, which usually goes into the homes and works with parents on socialization and how to work with their kids. We set up at Wallace School in Sterling, where our offices were for that, we set up 3 different studios so that our home educators could actually have a place, a room about this size where they could have it all set up for virtual learning so they could do meetings with the parents and the kids. It's working out great. They're scheduling, there's, I think, 6 home educators. And so there's 3 studios, so they just have a schedule on when they can do that. So it works out really cool. They're also doing group meetings. They're doing them through Facebook. So they're doing as much as they can, trying to connect with parents, with these kids as much as we can. So that's our report for now. I think it's been kind of crazy, and we'll get her done, hopefully. Questions? Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Yes, I did. Oh, okay. I didn't ask her, and she said you could just write it on.
Actually,
Find it in there.
the reason I came up is because I was
today more than ever before, having trouble understanding what everybody was saying.
You think it's because we're all wearing the
Yes.
mask today and we don't always do that?
I honestly do think that was the case. It was a lot of muffled, you said my name a couple times before I realized you were talking to me. I was here, I was listening, but anyway, I thought it'd be easier if I just came up, and since I did want to drop this off anyway.
Okay.
So a quick update from our office. The building did open last Monday, so a week ago. I am very happy to report a couple things. First of all, there was not a huge rush of people waiting to get into the building and standing in line, because of course we wanted to minimize the number of people standing in line at our door. Did not have that problem. I'm also happy to report that, I don't know what the experience was of the other departments, but from my department, I never saw a person come in that was not wearing a mask. So I was really happy to report that. I think people are generally following the rules and doing that. The sneeze guards, Kathy mentioned hers, they do look super nice. And it did give me a lot of confidence to move forward with doing that in our office. The other reason that I hadn't done that initially is because I wanted to take a step back, and instead of just being secure from the COVID-19 perspective, I wanted to actually add a little bit more security long-term in our department. And that meant trying to find a way to block the counter from people coming in and around the counter. As you can imagine, we do tend to get people in our office that are not always happy with us. And so there is a quote that will be moving through the committees this week for the sneeze guard countertop that sits on the countertop. And there's a separate quote for a doorway that will actually lock. We can get out by, they call it a panic bar, so you can push the bar and get out, much like you can here in this building. But it will be locked, and people will not be able to just walk in at will into our department. We thought that if we were going to do the glass, that this was the time also to add that extra level of security. I was actually kind of surprised in talking to my staff about the sneeze guards, how much they wanted that extra level of security. I didn't realize that they felt at times uncomfortable in our department with people that were upset or angry with us, and they wanted that extra level. So we've gone to that level to get a quote. I will tell you, I have seen the quote because it came out as part of the properties committee agenda, and I was quite stunned at the cost. So perhaps the door issue does not need to be the door that is currently proposed. Perhaps we can come up with another solution. I'm not sure. I'm going to leave that through properties and see what they think about it. But I do know that we do want to pursue some level of security with regard to a door or barrier that people can't just come around that counter, in particular if they're upset. So not to worry, all of you would be let in, no worries. But we do want to be able to manage the unhappy taxpayers when we need to. Other than that, we are working through the 2020 changes. We've got quite a little work ahead of us. Change Finder, that change detection software that we purchased last year, has added a tremendous amount of extra work to get those changes accounted for in the system and on the tax rolls. And then, of course, COVID-19 slowed us down, and so we're really in crunch time now. My staff would remind you that I say this every year at this time, and I tend to go into panic mode. They're the ones, thank God, who are cool, calm, and collected. I'm the one that's going into panic mode, but our goal is still to be able to close out the year early in February and roll the file to the court. With that said, if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to entertain.
Good. Okay. I'll just come back. Well, do you want to take county board, Mr. Chairman?
I got just a couple items.
Okay.
First of all, a lot of department heads here, the representative from. I really want to thank all of you for making the best of a really bad situation. I know it's totally different than it has been for a long time, so just a good thank you. If you notice the bill that came through for sickage, it's actually coming in line now. Once we got a few bugs ironed out, it's doing quite well for us money-wise. The arrangement of the chairs and probably the arrangement in the courtroom, I didn't look, comes from zoning. As all of you are aware, we have several large zoning projects going on right now with solar farms. So you can tolerate this, keep setting it up and taking it down all the time. Excuse me. Brings me to the next thing is, we got a few bugs ironed out. Once we got a few bugs ironed out, it's doing quite well for us money-wise. The arrangement of the chairs and probably the arrangement in the courtroom, I didn't look, comes from zoning. As all of you are aware, we have several large zoning projects going on right now with solar farms. So you can tolerate this, keep setting it up and taking it down all the time. they're all sitting on a new chair, basically. There were, how many, Becky? 42 new chairs purchased, and 8 6-foot tables. When the process of getting some 8-foot tables.
The eight.
Stock.
The 8-foot tables have been ordered, but because of shipping, we never know. We don't know when we're gonna get.
As most of you are aware, the tables were mismatched from years gone by, and to standardize things for zoning, 6-foot distancing, and just some general looks, we decided to order some tables. Had to be in our budget. Brings me to the next thing is we have quite an accumulation of old chairs. They're nice, they're solid, we have side chairs, there's still some armchairs around, quite a few armchairs. And so we have to make a decision what to do with them. There had been some comments made to auction them off online. Right now, chairs and furniture chairs and furniture, they don't bring much. So just food for thought. It'll come up later on. It's not an emergency. What's that? Yeah, it comes from properties. On a sad note, Marty Myers passed away last Saturday night. I don't know how many of you knew that Marty was sick. She's run our coroner's office for as long as I've been here. And so she was failing and passed away Saturday night. So just, very at the end of the hall. She's a very nice gal, deep down. So that's all I had.
Okay. Just coming through, I don't know, Charlie wants to, or Micah, you can do it on your report, the emergency vote. You want, that kind of comes through kind of board, do you want to comment on it?
Sure, I can if you want. It's gonna end up coming through, I think, properties is where it's gonna start with the resolution. Just as a heads up, there's a resolution that we're looking to have passed by the board. What it does, it'll say emergency resolution. It allows for the county to move forward using one company for the process of the infrastructure for this building as well as the other building for the wiring for the telephone system. Now, the reason for this is twofold why we're calling it emergency. One is going to be based on the infrastructure that's already in place. It's so antiquated that it could drop at any second. We don't know when it's going to be able to hold on. And from my understanding, it's hard to get parts for this infrastructure. It's hard because it is as antiquated as it is. The other part is due in relation to COVID. A lot of people are being asked to refrain from entering the building and to instead call when they need to change a court date, call if they need to get into the building for some type of meeting. And we have judges as well as clerks, whatever it may be, that are calling to specific extensions within the building to set up hearings. For example, a judge called down to the clerk's office to set up a hearing and instead got Focus House. So there's a lot of issues that are going on with the phone system. So this emergency resolution is to allow, rather than to go out for bidding, we can move forward with the project that's already been voted on by the county board. That's the only way you can go forward with the same companies that we have in place due to the emergency circumstances that we have based on the antiquation, based on the COVID. I think I pretty much covered that in a nutshell.
Yeah, any questions on that? I'm sure there'll be more coming out of properties tomorrow, but kind of a heads up for that. Okay, Mike?
I've got sheets. I apologize, I just got them finished up today. And I want to pass them around, kind of. I ran out of staples too. There's 2 sheets for each, so.
That's pretty bad. I have extra boxes at home. I was like, how did I get this many staples?
No, when I went to bring them up, I ran out and didn't have time to staple it. So I do have it for Jim and Bill. I can share it for you guys. Go the other way. Can you guys,
Email it to me.
oh, I can. No, I was gonna just show them.
Okay.
I mean, I can. Guys, can you see the screen here with, the Lee County ITGS? Bill,
I can, Mike, yeah, I can see it.
okay. I'll show. How about now? Did that screw you up?
Yeah, that took it away.
Okay, hold on. How about
Got
now?
it back.
Okay. Well, I guess these are just some projects that we've done over the last month. As you can see, it's pretty extensive. I'll just go through GIS. I'll just go through a couple. Continues to work with the city of Dixon and their maps. The water department's now editing and entering data. They're really coming along with that, really using it, and really happy with it. Tom met with them last week, going over some of their stuff. In addition, the DevNet tax server and PAM server went down a couple weeks ago. With that, there was some issues with the way the maps connect and whatnot, so he had to remap all the connections and make it all work again, which he'll have to do again once we install the new server. And then, like I said, for IT stuff, the DevNet server had failed. That's probably one of the more important things right now is getting that back up and running. We have it ordered, it is in, I'm installing the updates and whatnot, and hopefully we'll implement that this week with the help of DevNet. As you can see, there's a few issues here and there, troubleshooting, election computers, the highway department installing new machines, and recorders had a project that we did. And then, of course, working on the meetings for this week, and then the zoning meetings that are coming up. We had one last Thursday, and we will continue to have an abundant more the next few weeks. Those are at 7 o'clock and last couple hours. So this week, I have to break this stuff down, bring it back into that room, get it all set up, break it down, and bring it back for tomorrow. So it is kind of a pain sometimes, but and then as you'll note, I let Zach set up a few things and whatnot. He did work with the phone system when it went down a couple weeks ago. The Poly project completion, that was in the courtrooms. There are now 4 Polycom devices in there in each courtroom, and that is for video arraignment out at the LEC. That's all those devices will do is video arraignment. They do not do Zoom. They do not connect with any other Teams or Zoom or Google or anything. Those are strictly for video arraignment, and then also video arraignment with the prison and things like that. So he finished those up, and all seem to be working accordingly. So, and again, just trying to keep going with, there are talks of putting in a temp reader for the old courthouse. He met Thursday with Kevin and them over there. They did a demonstration for one of the temp scanners. So, let's see. And then just moving on to the upcoming projects and tasks. These don't include any of the daily calls that we have. Obviously, install the new DevNet servers, kind of a priority right now. Install some more servers, install some more computers. Highway department's got a couple coming. Election, treasurer's office, state's attorney's office got one coming. Public safety project kicks off in September. Accounting software, that's got to order a server for that. That's coming up. That's supposed to be in place by the end of November. And then there's some other projects here and there. the highway department wants remote access, things like that. So that's pretty much what we're looking forward to for the next couple months. So again, as Charlie mentioned, the phone project, we'll have upgrades there for the network itself. And I believe now the due date is by the end of November to have everything installed. Phones, everything, by the end of November.
No,
I
it's
think
not
the
that
phones
much.
were, yeah. I mean, the infrastructure portion, yeah.
No, the phones, because I think they reached out to FISIC, right? And said that because of the COVID thing, it has to be all done by November.
I didn't,
It was in
I
that.
didn't think.
I don't, that was in the email, though. I don't, I mean,
Sure.
so, but I know that some of it, but I didn't know with COVID if it was, had to move it up.
Well, they like it, but
So those are the things that are on my plate. On our plate.
any questions?
Yeah, I have one. You said the video arraignment now is up and running. Are there any other issues with the judges and the state's attorney, the stuff they need that isn't done yet?
I'm not aware of any. I know again, that equipment that we installed is strictly for video arraignment for LEC and the surrounding prisons and whatnot, those devices. Then we also have a computer set up for them when they all have a Zoom account. So if they need to set up for Zoom meetings and whatnot, then they are all capable of creating those meetings. I don't know of any. I have not been told of any other issues or whatnot. So
I don't think there's any projects. I think the only thing that's really a project that's outstanding is just the phone system stuff.
yeah, and then the Dawn's computers.
Video arraignment and then the phone system, kind of two different projects. And money was, we acquired the money from Jesus, improvement fund, to get that done. Others
Who's Allison and what department is that?
Circuit clerk.
Okay, I mean, it said CC, but. Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you. And, I don't have anything from veterans, so is there any other? We just, I really want to get that, our board rules moving, that we can do it only pretty much, so you guys it's just the committee that's had this, just because when I see so many drafts from other times when it comes out, when we get too many out there, it gets really confusing. You know, if they're not dated and whatever. So, that, what I just thought about on my way over this morning is the dates on the bottom. So you guys, you had your draft that came out last month. All right, then it had a 7. We talked about the change that we had with an issue with the ad hoc committee, which is section 13. So just didn't think that we could have the resident, because it would it took away from in the state statute what the chairman's position is, and it is in the state statute that the board chairman has that degree, so we don't really have to pass a resolution to do it, although, I don't know but we do have to have, should have that report, we can require that, so, just putting, that's my draft, so I will send out, and if people think it's okay, I'm really wondering how much pressure we're going to have the remote meetings all the time. at the time that when we worked on it, where we were, and we've talked about it since, we really wanted the in-person meetings. Just because it is more confusing. I don't, yes, I'm willing to do it remote, but it's just harder to feel engaged, I think, for me. I don't, some other people. So I am wondering how much there will be some pushback on that. But when the state okayed this, they did it temporarily, that the meetings could be remote. So unless they change, I don't know. I'm just pessimistic, or just trying to be prepared for what I think could be a pushback. So, unless you guys, I didn't, Jim was the only one, you had the comment and it changed. The other one, I thought we were okay on it. Your other comment was on,
Related to the same thing.
it was, and asking to speak at the public meetings, and I thought that we had that. Because it was just that if they wanted to be on the agenda, that they would have to request to be on it, but nobody can be denied, but the forms will be outside the meeting. And just putting that they can get those to the county clerk or the board chairman before the meeting starts, if they want to be. But if you want to be listed on the agenda, you really, they should get in there. If I go to that right now, I'll just read it to. Why didn't I mark it? Can't put my finger in my mouth to turn the suction to turn the page. Board member, public comment. If an individual wanting to speak desires to be listed on the agenda, she should make a request to the board chair prior to or during the regularly scheduled monthly executive committee meeting. And then we eliminated the next part of it. Individuals wanting to speak must complete a public comment card and submit it to the county clerk prior to the start of the meeting. This form asks for the name, town, and topic so that the same can be entered correctly in the minutes. And then the chair will impose a time limit for public comment on any single issue, which that was already there. So, will that suffice then?
Charlie's probably.
Yeah. Okay, we took this right from the Attorney General presentation, so I really want to.
Yeah, but we can have them identify themselves and ask them to sign up in advance, but if they don't do it, you still have to.
Correct.
I mean, we had originally, but it was always that we requested, but we just specified why they needed to, if they wanted their name on the agenda. And I think that was what we didn't have. And it came out of the zoning hearings a long time ago. The state says that they don't have to have a specify a topic that they want to talk about. But when we had those zoning hearings that went on and on and on and on, that's when we came up with it. We had people come, from out of state and everywhere coming to testify in the county. And so we had asked that, but by state, we took that out. So, okay.
We've also changed it too, so that way the vote actually happens before they talk.
Right, right. And we did have that. And that we had done that, but we didn't hear this corrected. So, okay, so the ad hoc part, just for clarification, ad hoc and special committees shall be established as determined and recommended by the board chair with a written notice stating the name of the committee, its purpose, responsibilities, and assigned members submitted to the clerk within 14 days. And then said special committees will cease to function when they have completed their duties, made their final report, and submitted dated report to the clerk and recorder. And then they would have, if a new chairman comes in, that's reassigned, but that work? Okay. But we had talked about having it be a resolution, but that kind of went against what the state rule was. So those were the things that we had talked about that didn't come up since. So what do you think that we're ready to move this to executive to go to full board? So Mr. Horstman, no motion?
I see no problem with it.
Okay, so you're seconding the motion? Okay. He made the motion.
You made
You're
the
seconding
motion?
it. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
I'll second it.
thank you.
Aye.
And I'm good with,
Aye.
I didn't even want, with all the stuff that's going on, I didn't even want to send it to you when we were, just because I got really confused. So it's not
Thank you.
a ton of changes, but, oh, Mr. Wentling and Mr. Palin, I didn't let you vote. I apologize.
I voted yes.
Thank you.
I voted yes.
Thank you. Okay, you had a
So
comment?
did I.
Did you have a comment?
Yeah, when this is presented to the board, to make it clear, I wonder if you could put it like in yellow, like you did, the one, would that might help,
Okay.
the
All right,
just push, what's being changed.
okay, Jim, because I'm really cheap, I didn't know how much, if that was gonna cost more for color printing, so I did, underlining and cross out.
Yeah, I saw
Like you
that.
have, is that, so you would rather, what part do you want highlighted? The new?
Well, everywhere where we made a change.
So the underlining and cross out doesn't suffice?
Well, you can see it, but, the highlighting just.
Okay, how about, what do you think about if, I do a cover sheet with the list then?
Yeah, like you did when you sent this out, for sure, that's fine.
Okay,
I
would that work? I don't know, does it cost more than color printing or
If you
highlighting?
highlight it in like a light gray, it'll still be black and white, but it'll still be.
Okay, sometimes I think that it's sometimes harder to read that. Okay. Okay, so some kind of highlighting, all right.
And Judy, so the motion was to send the board rules and procedures with changes.
To executive.
I have a question though. At what point do we have Charlie look at it?
I'm gonna send it to him today. I almost did it last night, then I was like, well, I don't want to think he has to look at it before I can read it today. And so and I didn't send it to Becky either, because, sometimes she is so gung ho that then I'm like, no, you're not gonna give me, I don't want it out yet. So, but then, and I do think that it should lay open, give people a chance. So that if they just have it this month, it'll be emailed out and people can have a chance to go through it and then vote in September. That's, okay. So that was my thought. Okay. Any other old business? We will be going into executive session for the minutes. The plaques are on the agenda. Mr. Nicholson, do you want to talk about that?
We had a couple of very experienced and very long-serving gentlemen either unfortunately passed away or retired. And so there were plaques ordered for them. I'm trying to figure out how to get it open. This happens to be for Jerry Ruppelman. The other one is for Rick Wixwood. And basically just gives their, how long they served, thanking them. And in this case, this one would go to Jerry. Obviously, Greg's would go to Virginia. I hadn't really determined how to actually do the presentation. With COVID and all that other stuff, it's been awkward. So I'm trying to line it up for this next meeting. We're comfortable. I think Jerry probably will make it. I think Virginia's got some health issues. But we'll try to see how to do it. Want to bring it in the committee first.
Okay, so, obviously he's already done this, but if we are going to be, is this a precedent that we want or need, some kind of recognition? My kids are, you know, do I need anything else hanging on the wall when I need to be downsizing? I don't know. Yeah. But I just think that we're kind of we've done different things for different people. You know, we've had trees planted, we've had, just a paper presentation, a verbal recognition, a written recognition, so, I would just like your input, what do you think about this? Is that Bill?
Yeah, how far back are we going with this?
I don't, well, he already did the two. I'm saying save the county money, don't get me one. Okay, so I think you're getting where I'm going from, but, but, you know, this is coming out of the county board fund, so I'm just kind of like where you're some feedback. Anybody?
Consistency.
Hmm?
Maybe some consistency.
That's why it's
Have
coming
some
up now.
documented that if they
That's why I would like it,
certify
it would be a recommendation or,
It would have to come out of ad services. Both these gentlemen provided substantial contribution to the county board for a long time. Both have served as chairman of committees, both have a lot of input at the county board level, and did a lot of extra things. But ad services would be the committee to supply that consistency and going forward with our need that.
there should be something.
okay. You think you should? Okay.
There should be something, that way it's just not,
I think I would just
I
go from
think
there.
it's that, you know, I want something for that person, but then you get to something,
Mhm.
there's no discrepancy of how you're presenting.
As Judy said, in the past, we've done different things.
Right.
And,
And maybe it's you can still do different things, like these are the options, but is it 3 years of service, 5 years, 10 years? Do you have to be a chairman of a committee? Do you not have to be?
Wow,
That
yeah,
way it's not, I got something for this person, but what about that person that served?
you know, I'm fine, run something off on the computer and put it in a Walmart. You know, I would have
Write
said
that
no,
down.
but there's.
Yeah.
You know, every, I had to have something, I mean, I
We've got
just,
a couple of previous members that have a tree out in the lawn
yeah,
in their memory.
you know, how many,
Ketcher and Mercer, if I recall correctly, two, maybe another one.
I think there might be one for David.
that's it,
Yes.
that's what I was thinking of, I was
Maybe.
coming up with the name.
The one for Tom Foster?
Tom Foss was out of the front.
So, I mean, I guess people want to think about it, if we maybe get some feedback from other board members where we are. But, we give employees, we used to do what, it used to be watches, and then so few people use clear watches anymore that went away from that. But, I can't see that we get more, you know, expensive things than the employees get.
I think, you know, I'm not a board member, but I think the big issue is that, you know, trying to be consistent and developing some set of guidelines for it. You know, personally, I always like the idea of, it doesn't have to be anything long-winded, but some level of resolution, because while the plaques get lost or thrown away or whatever over the years, a resolution that gets passed by the board that identifies the level of service that a person had to the county board will be in the record literally forever. And I kind of like that as a way to acknowledge and have it be in the record, whereas a plaque might get lost. So to me, again, a resolution that says thanks for your service would be something nice.
Yeah, my kids won't be throwing that in the dumpster.
There you go. And it would be in this public record. The other option might be something that could be displayed in a building, whether it be this building or not, that just says, you know, this level of however many years you want to make the threshold that says, you know, this person served for this many years, and, you know, just all you get is a little brass name on the plaque, and that way we're not buying multiple plaques, we're buying a plaque that just says thanks for your service with the name on it. So, a couple other things to think about.
Then it becomes an issue, where do we hang that?
Yeah, because we've been kind of proud of it.
We've done issues with hanging things before.
Judy, Whiteside County does a proclamation suitable for framing. So they do a proclamation when anybody leaves the board. They do a proclamation when a county officer leaves. They do a proclamation when they have a team go to state. But it's just a proclamation that they read, and then they give somebody a certificate that's suitable for framing. They don't even get the frame. They just
Oh, okay.
it's a certificate suitable for framing. They can put it in the scrapbook, they can frame it, they can do whatever they want.
Okay.
It's very nice, but it's inexpensive.
And it, yeah, and I'm not even opposed to the frame, because somebody could recycle it or reuse it or not.
Yeah,
But
I've got Walmart.
I wanted to promote shopping with their lawn, so anyway.
Bill Palin here.
Yes, Bill.
Perhaps this is already covered, but I didn't hear it. What is the cost of these plaques?
We had the, claim came through committee, was it 125?
Yes.
125.
125. Okay.
Each. So,
Thank you.
okay. So, all right, so I'd say, we think about this month, get some feedback, see where, because I think Danielle brought up a good point. I didn't even thought about, different levels and what. Okay. So, okay. Then, do we have any other business other than the minutes that we need to go through? Does anyone have anything else? Okay, we're going into executive session then to cover executive minutes. I will need a motion to do that. The time is 10:30. We have to do by 11. Yes, but most of our, some of them are partials, that we've already released part of it. Most of them are gonna be personnel related, that they aren't gonna go, because we don't have
And we have to leave here, right?
so can you do, because the other two aren't gonna be able to do it, right?
How do you want to do it, Charlie?
Oh, that's how we did it, okay. Did you guys understand that, Mr. Palin, Mr. Wentling?
Yes.
You're going to get a phone call? Because we don't want the executive, we don't want an executive session out over Zoom or YouTube.
Yeah, Charlie gonna call like he usually does?
Sure. Yeah.
And I need a motion. I
Need a
don't-
motion.
We need a motion to go into executive session.
I don't, did somebody make that?
Not yet. We'll get ready to do it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Gotta get rid of that first.
Well, we have to have the vote. Okay, public, so I needed a motion. Mr. Horstman made a motion to go into executive session, second Danielle. We need individual votes, Mr. Gibler.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, they're setting that up.
Okay, yes. Okay, Mr. Palin, Mr. Wentling, yes votes?
Yes.
No. I think Bill probably already went off, so I vote yes, so we'll put that forward. All right.
I still
And
got,
I have both phone numbers.
Well, we gotta leave here.
I know, I'm just getting ready to call
okay, so
them. So somebody,
we're good to mute.
I'm not good on doing the two at once, I can call one of them. You can do it both? Oh, man, I'm so. You guys got kids.
Okay, I'm gonna mute,